Hello and welcome to the Orlando World Sunday Showdown quarter-final round. In this week's episode we have the third of the four quarter-final battles, with Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smugglers run going head-to-head with Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. So let's take a look at these two attractions. Disney continues to raise the bar when developing new land expansions within its parks, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is no different. Batuu, as it's known, is home to one of the largest theme props in any park, with the unmistakable Millennium Falcon ship docked outside the ride. The ride opened with Galaxy's Edge on the 29th of August, 2019 at Hollywood Studios as part of the $1 billion land expansion. It's a dark motion simulator ride based on the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and it is a fun experience, with a highly detailed simulation system, which makes it incredibly immersive. The difference between Smugglers Run and other flight simulator rides is massive, as Smugglers Run, although following a relatively linear storyline, allows a much greater level of control to the riders, who control the simulator, each with roles to play in the journey, and depending on how well the team in the cockpit work together determines parts of how the story plays out. There are a few alternate segments, and depending on which role you play in the cockpit, which makes it a truly unique but similar experience on every different time you ride it. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is the flagship attraction at Universal Studios section of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in the Diagon Alley area of the park, which opened on the 8th of July 2014 as part of the expansion to the Harry Potter franchise. It replaced the iconic Jaws boat ride. Escape from Gringotts is an indoor steel roller coaster, which uses a similar ride system to sister attraction Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, although this ride is purely track-based. It's themed to Gringotts Bank, with the opulent grand foyer and the instantly recognisable bank front with the dragon breathing fire from the roof, creating a magic and intriguing emotion before you enter the ride. The ride is a mix of track elements and large 3D motion projections, which take you on a journey through the Harry Potter universe in such a fun and unique way. It's one of the most popular experiences within Universal Studios, and is one of the best attractions within the entire resort area. Now let's head into this week's series of rounds to see which attraction takes its place in the semi-final rounds. Let's go to round 1. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge takes immersion details to the next level, taking the likes of Pandora at Animal Kingdom and Frontierland at Magic Kingdom, and creating an out-of-this-world environment with some incredible details littered throughout the land. The theming for Smugglers Run is based primarily on the Millennium Falcon, where the giant life-sized craft sits pride of place in the area known as Black Spire Outpost, at the entrance to Onaka Transport Solutions. You venture into the workshop with an array of machines and mechanical objects, with lots of props recognisable from the film franchise, which are all intricately detailed, before you meet Hondo Onaka, who tells you that you are required to fly the Falcon to steal cargo from the First Order TIE fighters. The level of detail involved in creating the ride is impressive. Even the cockpit itself is incredibly detailed, creating one of the best themed experiences in the Disney resort. The theme and storyline are amazing, and do a great job of transporting you into the world of Star Wars and allowing you to live out the dream of piloting the iconic spacecraft. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts has some of the most impressive theming for any ride. It's themed to Gringotts Bank, which is the impressive focal point of Diagon Alley, with its stunning facade with a large near 60-foot-long fire-breathing dragon perched on the roof, blasting fire out at periodic moments. The lobby of the bank is so incredibly detailed, with its marble and granite walls and pillars, to the lavish lighting fixtures, and with bank teller animatronics. It's so beautifully constructed and is extensively themed for a queue section. The ride's storyline itself is based on events during the event portrayed in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2, when Harry Potter, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger are attempting to infiltrate Gringotts Bank in order to retrieve a Horcrux as part of their mission to defeat Lord Voldemort, in what is basically an expanded part of what was going on in the events which played out in the film but from an alternative viewpoint. It's such an impressive ride, which makes some great use of its theme and storyline, and for a 3D roller coaster attraction, it's very clever in creating an environment far greater than expected. So in the first round, it's an extremely close call, but the Smugglers Run attraction just takes the point for being themed on a much bigger scale. Let's head to round 2. Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run has a decent capacity for a simulator attraction. It operates on a revolving turntable system, with several cockpit simulators operating on one of 4 turntables. Each Falcon cockpit seats 6 riders, where you are instructed to perform in one of 3 roles, seated in 3 rows of 2, as either a pilot, gunner or engineer, with 2 of each in each vehicle, for a total of 6 riders per cockpit. The average early capacity is 1,800 riders per hour, which is reasonable for a small simulation attraction, but as the franchise is so popular, it needed to accommodate as many guests as possible, which was the reason behind the revolving platforms, to allow more vehicles to operate at one time. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is a relatively low-capacity ride in terms of being one of Universal's star franchise attractions. This often attributes to the bottleneck crowding, which is a regular sight inside the Diagon Alley area, with many eager riders keen to experience the attraction. The ride itself uses 11 trains, with each train split into 2 cars. Each train seats 24 riders, who are seated in 3 rows of 4 people, which gives a total number of 264 riders in each ride cycle. That means that the average early ride capacity of approximately 1,400 riders per hour. It's an incredibly popular attraction, but it does benefit from having a lot to keep you entertained in the queue and pre-ride areas. But in round 2 it's another point for Smugglers Run, which has a higher capacity. Let's move on to round 3. Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run is a fairly short simulation attraction. It does however have a brief pre-show with the highly impressive Hondo Ohnaka animatronic, which is essentially a pre-ride briefing, giving you a short backstory and a few instructions in relation to the ride itself. Overall, the entire experience clocks in around 10 minutes taking in the pre-ride, and also if you include the marveling of the queue segments too, but the main show itself only operates for 4.5 minutes, which is a fairly fast-paced simulation, but it doesn't pass by too quickly as there is a good balance throughout the attraction, and with each cockpit crew member playing their part, which helps to prolong the experience a little, and requires so teamwork. It's a good experience overall, and although the main ride is fairly short, the complete experience is able to make up for any shortfall in the short ride duration with a fairly impressive level of detail throughout the entire attraction. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is a good experience, which offers you a lot for its duration, with the added input from the pre-ride theme and interactive elements giving you a bit of entertainment while you wait to board the ride. The waiting times can be extremely long, but as a ride you can book with a virtual queue pass. It rolls around fairly quickly. The ride itself is fairly short, lasting a respectable 5 minutes in duration, but what you get within that 5 minutes is a high-impact 3D adventure, which provides a good side story for those familiar to the film franchise, and effectively takes you into part of the action leading up the point in the movie. It's a fun few minutes of ride time which is well paced and well worth its ride time duration. It means in round 3, it takes the point just outlasting Smugglers Run in duration as we now head into the penultimate round. Smugglers Run has been an incredibly popular attraction at Hollywood studios. Along with its sister attraction Rise of the Resistance, it's responsible for a massive increase in footfall to the park since it opened. The attraction is still in its infancy, but is already a commanding presence within the Disney resort, and has managed to have an impressive start as an attraction even after only being open for just over a year. Smugglers Run will surely play a huge role in the park's operations going forward, with the possibility of the ride being updated from time to time with new stories and characters being introduced in the future, providing a longevity to the attraction which should see it at the forefront of the park's attractions for many years to come. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts opened as part of the Diagon Alley expansion of the Wizard World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios. It's been incredibly popular since it opened in 2014 and for the last 6 years has been the main attraction within the Diagon Alley area. The ride is so intricately themed that guests regularly bottleneck the area hoping to catch a glimpse of the fire-breathing dragon that intimidatingly guards the roof of Gringotts Bank, giving the ultimate photo opportunity. So in round 4, the Harry Potter attraction fights back and levels the score going into the 5th and final round. As simulator rides go, Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run offers a bit more interaction than others. As a simulation ride, it does have all the jolts, thrills and spills like many others, but it's not the most intense ride by any means. It offers a good balance of control to the riders, who are in a somewhat reasonable amount of control of the simulator, which makes the experience a bit more realistic to how riders interact with the craft. The overall thrill comes from the full ride experience, which is larger than life, and gives a phenomenal first impression from the life-sized craft and the amazing theme and storyline. It's a wonderful experience which in the end, is exhilarating as an overall attraction, giving an incredible account of life in the world of Star Wars. It's such an entertaining attraction which is one of the best modern-day achievements at any theme park. The Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts attraction pulls together the best of roller coaster and 3D technology to provide an experience which is different from 3D motion simulators. The ride provides a much more realistic feel with the track movements as opposed to the rather disorienting standalone simulator rides, and from a unique perspective creating quite a good thrill. It doesn't have the fear factor of most roller coaster rides, but its excitement and enjoyment factor pushes the experience overall to the top of its thrill rating for being an enthralling ride from start to finish. The story ties in well to the films, with its real-time alternate story plot, which runs in parallel to what is happening at the same time in the film's time frame, which gives an added experience to those who have watched the movies. It's a great attraction overall and one of the best 3D experiences at Universal. Meaning in the 5th and final round, Escape from Gringotts claims the final point this week. So after a nail-biting contest this week, we do have a winner. Which rather surprisingly means that Disney's all-new flight simulator attraction, Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run, drops out of the competition. The attraction is so impressive and is one of the most incredibly designed and themed attractions, but it just isn't as exciting as the roller coaster attraction at Diagon Alley, which is just a little more thrilling. It's certainly taken flight simulator rides to the next level, by creating a vast environment which immerses you into the ride right from the entrance, adding to an incredible experience. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts advances to the semi-finals. Just as next week for the final round of the quarter-finals with a battle between Avatar Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest. See you next time. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please support us by subscribing to our channel. You can find us on social media platforms. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Orlando Worlds, and on Instagram at the Orlando Worlds. Thanks for watching.